morning, everyone. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to day 2 of War Machine Weekend. I'm Will Hungerford, game developer at Privateer Press, and with me is Will Pagani, game developer at Privateer Press, lead CID developer of Privateer Press. How's it going? So we're here to start finishing out the LCQ. We've got 3 rounds of the LCQ with the top 8 to see who gets into the Invitational for the rest of the show, which will also start today.
Yes.
Stream-wise, for those of you watching all day today, we're doing 3 rounds of the LCQ. There'll be a staff game. Then we will not be streaming the first matches of the Invitational. That's going to go really late tonight. We have to eat at some point and shower and
we do indeed
sleep. But we will be back tomorrow to do the final rounds of the Invitational and see who the main winner is.
I believe the final 3 rounds.
So let's go ahead and talk about our players and get to the first round we are doing right now. We've got Dan Yount versus Sam Cameron. We've got Circle versus Skorne. So let's talk about Sam's list real fast. Sam is playing Morgul 2 in Winds of Death. So his list is Morgul 2. He's got an Agonizer, an Archidon, a Basilisk Drake, and a Basilisk Kreia, and Aptimus Marketh, his battle group. He's got 2 Extoller Soul Wards, the new Immortal Vessel, Venator Dakar, minimum unit of Paingiver Beast Handlers, a Venator Catapult crew, a Flare Cannon crew, then a maximum unit of Reavers with their UA, and double Turtle. He's rocking the double Siege
Animatrix.
Yep. Tell us about Dan's list.
Dan is going to be playing Mosar, the Desert Walker.
I like our voices this morning, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's really smooth.
There's been a lot of yelling.
There's been a lot of yelling.
So I think we get a little raspy. And it's smooth operator time. So Mosar, the Desert Walker, who is playing in Devourer's Host with 2 Purebloods, Getterix, a Wild Argus, a full unit of Blood Trackers with Nuala, a full Blood Pack, a normal unit of Blood Weavers, because they only come in 1 variety. I assume they will be ambushing. A Lord of the Feast, which is free, and a Wolf Rider Champion, which is also free.
Yep.
So I really like this list, and I really like Dan's choice to kind of build a battle group heavy Devourer's Host list that only gets 2 free solos out of it. I think a lot of people are sort of focused on making sure that they get all 3 of their free solos in every list, and I really like that Dan hasn't done that here because I think it gives him a lot of options and a lot of things to work with.
Yeah, a lot of people often will feel, we hear some people be like, well, I have to maximize the amount of free points I'm getting in every single list. It's, well, no.
You don't.
You want to try and maximize the efficiency of your list and be able to execute the plan you're trying to do, and the more free points you get, great, but like, you don't have to try and squeeze out every single drop if it ruins what you're trying to do. Right?
Correct.
Let's talk real fast about the scenario they're playing. They are playing Invasion. This is the 2 circles zones, a single rectangular zone in the middle, 2 objectives. Circle zones controlled by infantry and by your casters, of course. And then rectangular zones controlled by battle engines and jacks, or in this case, beasts, because this is a hordes-only game. We don't know what their objectives are just yet. We'll probably hear from the players. And then the 2 objectives, both on the rectangular zone, you have to destroy one to be able to start scoring.
Absolutely.
Destroy your opponents specifically.
You can't destroy your own? You could.
Well, I mean,
I don't know why you would.
So we see it's very early on this morning. A lot of people were out last night at like some of these social gatherings around. So right now, the only thing that's happening on this side of the room is the top 8 players of the LCQ. There's more events starting, but a lot of people are getting their Saturday morning sleep time right now.
Champions did kick off at, I believe, 7 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, they're finishing up on the other side of the room right now.
They just finished up their first round, which to me is fairly impressive. So,
having the mental wherewithal to play War Machine at 7 o'clock in the morning in the top 8 of a Champions event. Ooh, man.
Just reminds me of Europe. Playing so many games over there.
Yeah.
Super jet lagged. Fantastic. I love the googly eyes on the Skorne army. I don't know if you know this, Hungerford, but my entire Skorne army, all the war beasts and all the battle engines have googly eyes all over them. Because I don't know what it is about the Skorne war beasts. They just lend themselves to googly eyes so well. So I'm very excited about the googly eyes on these Animatrix here.
We got a nice deployment view here of what's going on with the battle lines. Why don't we go and point out what the terrain is real fast with the telestration, just so everyone can see what they're looking at.
So we've got a forest here, a wall, another forest. Another wall?
Looks like another
wall.
What
it looks like to me. This is an acid pool.
It depends on what the players agreed on. They may have just had to decide to do shallow water.
Sure. We've got our obstruction here, and then it looks like a pair of hills.
Yeah, it looks like they're running them as hills. I'd be surprised if they weren't, because I don't see the trees inside of them.
Sure, yeah, but there are trees over here.
The players get to agree on what they're using them as, so they may have agreed to use those as forests, but they're probably going to do them as hills.
I would imagine that they are hills.
Yeah. And So we're going to have what we like to call table view. This is the kind of view you'd have at your local game store, just sitting at the end of the table watching the game. Then if you were some kind of magical spirit who could float above the table, we'll get that view.
Brilliant.
And then the I'm napping on the table view.
But look at these wonderful little sad eyes right here. They're just so beautiful. And this little guy, man, this guy came to party. What do you think? What do you think this guy did last night? Like,
I got to stop looking at that. Just get that out of my point of view. That's ridiculous. Would you go and bring up the bottom third again, Pagani, please, with the.
oh,
We're going to have, so those of you watching, we'll have the round tracker CP score, clocks going for both players. You can see the blue means they have their feats available, greens means that the feat is currently in use, and blank means the feat has been used.
Yep.
So
let's talk about this matchup a little bit.
Sure. Get it.
So Dan's army, Dan being the Devourer's host player here, Mosar player, doesn't hit particularly hard, right? Like he's got 2 pure bloods, which are POW 16 in melee, which is fine, but it's not like they're gonna kill these siege animantrax in combat really easily, right?
You've got Getterix.
You've got Getterix, and he can hit pretty hard. Sure. And Mosar does have Curse of Shadows, which is -2 armor. So like that's respectable, but not like incredible, right? And then we've got Blood Trackers, Blood Pack, right? Like I'm sure there's some Kreyas in this Morgul list, right?
There's one.
Yeah, so there's one Kreia. So these Blood Trackers, I think, are going to be pretty hard-pressed to really deal with these Animantrax. So if I had to guess, Dan is playing for Assassination here. So he's got Mosar, which can teleport around with Sands of Fate, which allows him to replace a warrior model in his control area with himself.
Yeah.
And he can cast that twice to kind of like appear somewhere, do
a bunch of
something,
stuff,
and then leave
disappear.
again.
Yep.
So usually what the play here is
old yo-yo.
Either Blood Trackers or Blood Weavers, which are ambushing, will run up to the opposing caster, get within a couple inches of him. Mosar will pop out. He'll Doppler Bark, which makes you defense 7, maybe 5. I'm not actually sure. It paralyzes you, whatever that is.
It's 5.
5. And then the Pure Bloods will assault you, and like Blood Trackers or whichever ones will get in there and throw spears at you. Lord of the Feast will pop out. So that is something that Sam really needs to be aware of and needs to be careful about. He needs to cover his caster with free strike stuff. So like if these Tharn try and run around and stuff, that you can free strike those models and make sure they don't actually make it to Morgul. Which is another one of those reasons in our recent CID update for Circle that Blood Trackers lost parry. They had it for a little bit in CID, and it was just really, really powerful, allowing them to get places that they wouldn't normally be able to get because they ignored free strikes. So that is one of the things that's going on there.
Now I'm having a bit of a brain lapse this morning. It's a little early. There's the 3 different Morgals. Morgul 2 stealth.
Yes.
I was like, Morgul 2 has stealth, if I'm not mistaken.
I would assume so.
Why don't we double check, though? 'Cause
Let's do it.
I don't like to say things that are wrong.
Yes, he does indeed have stealth as well as Pathfinder.
So what did Dan bring? We're talking about that plan of going in and zipping in, double barking, and then getting in there with something. Like he's got the blood pack for the range attacks.
So those are going to be two helpful. He doesn't have a Moonhound to get rid of it, right?
Blood trackers. So he's got double range units that are kind of hard hitting, but neither one of those is going to get to Morgul.
Correct. Yeah. So I think it's sort of a show up, Doppler bark, spray you with Mosar, maybe do some damage there, maybe punch you a little bit. Mosar is not exactly like a powerful melee beater here. I think he's like POW 11, maybe POW 12, but it's nothing impressive. But at least when you're so super low defense, you can actually get hit by Mosar, who's Mat 5. So that's pretty good.
Sure. You can't knock him down. You're not going to have any knockdown plays there. Cause
no. But once you paralyze him, right? Like
yeah, you get him down to Def 5. I just wonder how many attacks will be able to connect that will be meaningful.
Well, you can get the 2 Pure Blood sprays with Assault.
Yeah.
Those are very easy to connect. You can get Mosar spray. And then there's these huge bases walking around that Lord of the Feast just loves.
Sure.
Like he's all about these things. They're super low defense, so they're really easy to hit with his Raven, which teleports him up the board into base contact with whatever he hits with it. And then he can just punch a lot of the stuff around him. So, including Morgul.
We'll see how it plays out. Now, what do you think about Sam's list?
Sam's list, I think, is really sweet. And what I love about this list, and specifically things like the Immortal Vessel, I think really helped out this list, where you can sort of project that mortality that you couldn't really do before. And I think that really helps Morgul 2's game. And we've seen a lot of Morgul 2 sort of going on in this event so far, and a lot of our other events and scrambles, I've seen a lot of Morgul 2. I think the Soul Vessel, is that what it's called?
Immortal Vessel.
Immortal. I can never remember that guy's
That's
name.
the new model that came out that has
Yes.
Chandler and telemetry.
Yeah, so that guy, like telemetry, great for Morgul, right? Like magic ability 5, not the best, bumps it up by 2, absolutely fantastic.
Magic
And then, of
ability,
course, channeling, great.
You said 5?
Yeah.
I believe he's a 6, isn't he?
Did he go up to a 6?
Morgul 2 is Fury 6, if I'm not mistaken.
That would be so sweet. It's been a long time since I've played some Morgul 2. He is, yeah, so 6 up to an 8 is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, even better, my God.
Yeah.
I'm liking this game plan more and more. It's like that's really, really strong for Morgul. And then, of course, I talked a lot about Shadow Play last time we had a Morgul 2 game, and that's just one of my favorite spells.
It's pretty
that we've done ever. So, and that spell gives Incorporeal to models that he casts it on. So he can give these Animantrax Incorporeal, he can give himself Incorporeal. He can just do a whole lot of stuff. And I think a spell like that is really great, specifically when you have like this building right here. It lets you do all sorts of really cool stuff.
Yeah, like turn your turtle into a ghost and have it run through a building.
I talked a lot yesterday about how walls and things like that can be really detrimental when you have these huge bases. So, like this right here is really tough to deal with when you have huge bases because they just can't fit, right?
Yeah.
Like we're seeing this guy. This might even be too close for this model to move through this if you couldn't move through your objective, which you can. But like. This positioning just gets really hard, and that Shadow Play spell really opens up where you can go with these guys. Like this guy can come over here, and normally if he ends up like right there, the next turn he can only charge stuff this way.
Right, but now he's
he can see stuff all the way over here.
Yeah.
So with Shadow Play, he can go through this building, and I think that's really, really, really powerful and really fun and interesting when you're playing Morgul 2. And to me, that's sort of like what this caster does. He opens up a lot of the board.
Yep.
So I'm a big fan of that. And
So-
we're running on over there right now.
Yep.
Good to go.
And we see there we do have an upkeep up on looks like each siege.
Yes. So I would imagine one of these is Shadow Play. I don't know which one, though.
That's fine. We'll know soon.
That is true.
It's super true. Okay, so yeah, we just got confirmation that the bottom
this
CJ
one right
Mantrax has Shadow Play on it, which, given the line of sight and the angle you just showed off, makes the most sense.
Yep.
Looks like the Kreia walked up, put up the aura.
Which probably isn't hitting anybody right now. So you may have just ran.
He may have just ran. It's possible.
Can we get a table view here? I want to see these wonderful eyes again. Oh, gosh. Look at them. They're just lazily hanging out.
I just saw
On
the
the other side of the
Archidon at the top left.
Like, I'm not even looking at this. Like, this guy right here, that pose. This is truly art. Right here. This is the best army we've ever had on the stream.
Oh, no, we could never do this view again. I'm changing it now. I will lose my mind.
This guy's my hero. Oh. So our Reavers are just going to walk on up. They're not doing anything spicy right now. They're probably just kind of holding down the zone. They can apply a lot of pressure to this. The Archidon. I like this Archidon placement. In the last Morgul 2 game we saw, we committed our Archidon super duper early, and we lost it, and then we lost sprint on Morgul. So I like that Archidon is pretty safely positioned. Like that wall will help him out against the shooting and stuff, and there's not a whole lot of stuff that can really get to him over there.
Yep.
Like you could maybe get a couple blood trackers. I doubt that Pure Blood can land an assault down there. So
Somebody, so we are live on Twitch right now. If you're catching this on YouTube later on, so we're occasionally going to be interacting with chat. Yaldo Hans says, "Are the huge eyes on the Kreia sewn shut?" I'm going to switch.
no, it's behind the building. You can't see it. Like it's back here.
Oh, okay.
But no, it has these little sleepy eyes.
Okay.
But on my googly eye ones, I have eyes like this on mine, but they have red X's put over them on my Kreias.
Oh my God!
Why are its arms up?
He's just really excited about life.
It's so good.
And these new zones everybody's seeing, these zones are actually just freshly available from Muse on Minis.
Yes,
Jay is
licensed
selling them right now
zones.
at War Machine Weekend.
Chat, Deadman619 Inc. asks, what have those eyes seen?
Too much.
Too much. Too much.
All right, so it looks like clock is passed back over to Dan. Dan's going to take his first turn of the game.
Yep, so I think this is a pretty standard approach from our Skorne player here, right? Like, Animatrix up front, Venator Reaver's hanging a little bit back, safe Archidon, safe lights in the back, like, good to go.
Yep.
Good to go.
We see that with the new benefit from the freshly updated Devourer's Host Theme Force, all the Blood Pack are starting with a corpse.
Yep.
Which is being marked with a, as does the Lord of the Feast, who is moving right now, and that's being marked by that little white bead. All right, looks like the Lord of the Feast is...
All right. So Lord of the Feast, I believe, charged, and then is shooting this guy right here. And this is going to be really, really sweet if this hits, right? Like, he's going to pop out right here and then kill this guy, this guy, this guy, maybe this guy.
Yep.
So Dan's coming around the table here.
With dual attack, he's able to
charge
in.
His range attack first.
Make his range attack first, and then he finishes his move in charge range of his charge target. Therefore, not a failed charge. He's not going to get a charge attack on these models, but he does get to continue to make his initial attack. And it's about to be...
It's Lord of the Feast party time.
Yeah, it's about to be party time.
Like, Lord of the Feast is terrifying right now. He's super duper good.
Yeah. Yep, so he goes in and makes the single melee attack against everybody in the club.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and...
Man, I really hope this Drake right here just lives. Like, this is the whole game to me right here, this guy. I'm not even too worried about it.
So we see the dice cams up. Here's Dan making his rolls.
Yep. So he has one corpse, so he has +1 POW. And then he's going to pick up a couple more here, right?
Yeah.
So picking up these pain givers, I think, is super duper important.
He also picked up an Extoller Soul Ward. Like, that's already dead.
Yes.
That was
Yeah, hugely. Ooh, that's a triple ones. So it is entirely possible that this Lord of the Feast kills all of these guys and that Kreia. Mm-hmm. Assuming that's the Kreia. I imagine the Drake is over there, right? Is that even a Drake? It is a Drake, yes.
Yep. Well, he killed the Solar Soul Ward. He missed both of the Pain Givers right there, but then he hit and did some damage to the...
Yep. So we picked up 2 more souls.
Yep.
Or corpses. We're killing the Agonizer is what we're doing right now.
Looks like straight dice damage on one of the Agonizers. Looks like it's the model directly in front of him is actually an Agonizer.
Yep. If this guy doesn't have googly eyes, I'm going to be depressed.
I mean, I'm sure he does. By another attack on the Agonizer directly in front of him. Oh, actually, he's buying an attack on the Beast Handler, he said.
Yep.
So he
hits him, gets a corpse, spins it to buy.
Yep. Going into the Agonizer.
Oh, it's so sad. The snake eyes.
Yep, that 5 hits is the last bot attack, I do believe.
Oh, yes. Did 8 damage to 4, it looks like there.
So it looks like the Agonizer actually survived. Yeah,
he did. Looks like he lost an aspect, though. So that seems like a pretty good activation for Lord of the Feast. Dan wanted it to go a little bit better. We can hear him through his microphone over there.
Yep.
But I think that's fine. Like, I think if he picks up that Agonizer, he's in a really great spot. But, yeah. So I think he's doing fine where he's at.
I mean, he killed an Extoller Soul Ward and a 2 Beast Handlers? 3 Beast Handlers? No, 2 Beast Handlers. 2 Beast Handlers.
2 Beast Handlers, a Soul Ward, did a bunch of damage to the Agonizer.
And, I mean, he's effectively lost that Lord of Feast, right? He's gone.
Sure, but somebody has to commit to that, right? Like, the Kreia's not going to kill him. I mean, I guess it could. Like, it's mathematically possible, but it is very unlikely. So I think, like, if Morgul has to go over there and do it, I think that's great for Dan. I mean, you could try and shoot him, I guess, after taking some free strikes. Like, I don't know. I think this was super worth. I think that's not really what Sam wants to be doing, is kind of backpedaling and dealing with this Lord of the Feast and his backlines.
Sure.
I mean, maybe the Drake, right? With his wonderful eyes.
Yeah,
comes down here.
Let's get the top-down view for you.
Yeah, so like maybe he can come over here and spray him, and you can position it so like the spray template just clips Lord of the Feast, doesn't hit your own models. So like that's possible, but I don't know. That dude's pretty tanky. Like he's I think 16 now, was 17, now 16 after CID. with 8 damage boxes is pretty substantial.
Or Morgul just goes and takes care of it, because Morgul doesn't really care if he's behind the building afterwards or wherever he ends
I mean,
up.
true. Like, he could come over here, and then he could lightning strike back and be in
Yeah.
a relevant position. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that's what Morgul wants to be doing. I think Morgul wants to be casting Mortality this turn. And without that Soul Ward, like, you no longer see through stealth and stuff, right? So now your Arc Node has to get a lot closer.
Well, he's running 2 Soul Wards. There is another.
Okay.
And
Yeah, so I can see him right over here. So there's a Soul Ward. So we can still do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know. It
he,
just seems
he lost a Soul Ward and a Pain Giver, and he's trading the Lord of Feast. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Well, it's 2 Pain Givers, right? He's only got 2 left.
Yeah.
Like, those Animatrax need Pain Givers to give them their stuff and to, like, heal them and stuff. So the fact that Dan was able to get 2 of them so early, I think, is really, really good for him.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Because Sam is only running the 1 minimum unit.
Mm-hmm.
Legionnaires on Twitch says, has the new War Machine weekend releases had much of an impact on the lists in the LCQ? This is the 3rd stream we've seen with at least 1 Circle player. I
do think people are really excited about the Circle update. So we have seen quite a few Circle people playing it.
We've seen Iona running around.
Yep, we've had an Iona, we've had a Kruger 2, we've had this, and then we had...
Also, just a lot of Supreme Guardians. Because I know there wasn't a pre-release here, but we did bring some Bahi models, and saw the Supreme Guardians went really quick.
Yes.
So we saw a lot of people rocking those.
Yes.
What I have not seen on stream yet is Meyer. Everyone's been picking him up. He's been quite popular, but I've not seen him on the stream yet.
Like we're getting Mosar's activation here. We're up to 9 Fury because of maltreatment.
Yep.
Oh, and we're going to shifting stands and pop on up.
Here he goes. Boof. Here I am.
This is one of the things that I love about Mosar is like you just never have any idea where this guy's going to be.
No.
Right? Like, I'm going to bet this guy, this is where Mosar is going to end up right here. That's my bet. It also looks like we chose not to ambush our Blood Weavers because I'm pretty sure that's a Blood Weaver, and that's a Blood Weaver. And that's a Blood Weaver. I'm pretty sure.
So you hit him with a spray.
Yep. So we Curse of Shadows, I think, and now we're spraying.
Yep. Spray.
I think he missed.
Misses?
He rolled a 3, yeah.
Oof. And then he's going to Sands back.
Yep. There we go. Now our blood trackers are going to activate. It looks like they're going to try and put a little bit of damage on that Animatrax, but I don't think they're going to get a ton of work done here.
And his Curse is shadowed. That helps.
Sure. So he's 17. I would actually guess what that other token is the Prey token.
I was about to say, if this is Prayed and Curse of Shadows is up, 4-point swing.
Yeah, it's dice off 6, so each one does about 5.
Yeah, but unless you spike the dice, what you do? What you do is you just roll your booty off.
The Hungerford way.
Yeah, that's what you do, man. Roll your butt off. You don't need tactics when you got luck.
Yeah, I am interested to know if that Kreia did Animus. I don't see a token for it, and it definitely doesn't have enough Fury. But it may have been cleared off by the Pain Givers.
Sure.
So
yeah.
I'm not 100%
Double
sure.
caster players, if you want to play the double caster event, you need to turn in your list. Turn in your list now.
The double caster event is kicking off.
Nice.
It's always an exciting event. We also have a original Mark 1 hardcore going on later today.
I know, it's completely awesome.
I'm looking forward to that.
I am excited to see how many people are able to withstand 7-minute time turns.
Sure.
Because that is a very hard thing to do, especially these days.
So it does sound like we do have the Kreia Aura because this guy's def 12.
Yep. That's why most are missed.
Sure.
Looks like it's dice -9.
So it's armor 20 base, plus 2 for the Kreia, -2 for Curse of Shadows, and then these guys are POW 11. So dice off 9.
Yep, dice off 9.
Pow 9 plus 2 for prey.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get a whole lot of damage out of this.
Yeah, we're looking at an average of a point or 2 every attack.
Yep.
In general. Yep.
Though what I will say is you do get the, because those pain givers died, right? Like if you do 10 or 15 damage here, those pain givers aren't going to walk up and heal it, right?
Correct.
So
You are getting it all its rage tokens, though.
cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Don't need pain givers when the enemy will do it for you.
That is definitely true.
Yep, so we're seeing just Dan's rolling his damage rolls here, and he's hitting pretty consistently, and just 1 point, 2 points, 1 point, 2 points.
So we do have a couple questions in chat here. Brotum asks, did Lord of the Feast have to use his initial melee attack on the turtle before using his bird? He does not. He can do his initial attacks in any order that he wants. So he can
Charge in,
throw the bird, teleport to the target, and then take his initial attack, which would be a non-charge attack.
Yep. Still a legal charge because he ended the movement portion in melee range with his charge target.
Correct.
So it's a tricky interaction. Maybe not immediately like noticeable, but it is in fact how it works.
So a total of 17, doing 1 or 2 per guy. It's probably about right.
Yeah.
For the turtle there.
For all 11 of them.
Yep. It about halfway kills it. So yeah, and then we've got reposition on these lovely ladies.
Time to spread out.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Let's look at his positioning from the top down and get a view of exactly what he's going to try and do here.
So it looks like we're spreading out.
Yep.
And that's to probably try and stop as much engagement as possible here. So there's going to be a couple of them are going to move forward. The rest are going to move back to put a nice 6-inch gap between them. I've been talking a lot in these streams about how positioning and things like that can lessen the impact of opposing models. So what's important to note about these guys is obviously they have very large frontage, right? Like they're wide.
Yeah.
So when you take a few blood trackers like this and you do this kind of stuff, like I'm not so sure what's going on here. But if there's only one of them here and then like this one was here, I would like this, and I think this would be very, very great positioning. Because these guys can't get through these holes, something else has to come up and clear one of these models, which is not easy to do because they have stealth at F14. So that's kind of what's going on there. But now these Animantrax can really only get like maybe you can get 3 guys in this one's melee range.
Sure.
Maybe. Because it's 2 inches, 2 inches. And then hopefully these are far enough back because of the stealth that they can't then shoot you. And that I think is what Dan is trying to go for. So we'll see if that pans out and that kind of thing. Because even with 3 in melee range, not particularly high mat. I think they're only mat 6. They do get the boost for the cavalry charge, but that's not super great against infantry because you just cream this poor little lady and then whatever, right? Now you got to boost a hit and stuff. And that's not super efficient.
That sweet table view. Oh, the camera's moving. Let's watch together,
zoom
shall
in
we?
right on those eyes, Tony. They're beautiful.
Tony, why would you zoom in on that?
Look at this guy.
You can't.
He's so good. Little mouth. He's going to yell at people. It's going to be a PAL 14 spray. We do have a lot of people asking in chat about what Mr. Hungerford here and I feel about the Circle CID update and things like that. We can talk about that stuff on like our normal weekly streams and that kind of thing, but this is really focused on this game, so we're not going to talk too much about these specific updates and
Absolutely.
things like that.
Yep.
Unless they're relevant to the game.
Tony, can you do me a favor and can you take that table cam and can you zoom in on the little guy with the googly eyes with his hands up, the Basilisk Drake? We're going to get a really good shot of him while Dan is just checking some measurements.
Look at that guy.
Oh my God.
It's even better when it's
better
blurry.
when it's fuzzy. Oh, yes.
This guy right here,
Oh.
this guy is my champion. This is my spirit animal. It's fantastic. Absolutely amazing. All
I
right.
gotta stop looking at it.
Oh, Sam can be on stream whenever he wants.
Oh. I'll forgive the unpainted models around it this one time.
This one time. I do know Sam had this army at Attack X when I was up there a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And he has more painted models now.
Well, yeah, he's working on it. He's working on it. Absolutely.
He's working on it. I was going to say, did we miss the Animatrix dying? But
No.
It doesn't look
So
like
while Dan was just doing some measurements and checking some ranges, like nothing has really occurred.
Yeldo Hans says those are the prolonged effects of basilisk milk.
Don't know. Just being paralyzed is the.
In which case I'm in.
Don't drink basilisk milk. Super bad for you. All right, here we see the blood pack moving up. Freshly updated from the CID. Taking all their tiny corpses with them.
Back to range 12, POW 14.
Boop, 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 boop.
Back to? They are now. How about that?
Yeah.
We got 2 shots needing 6s to hit here.
What's he shooting at?
He's shooting at the Animatrix.
Does he have range?
Yes. So only these 2 made it in, though.
It looked like he was pointing at the back one. That's why confusion was coming from.
Nope, just those 2 made it in. So we got our 2 shots there. The first one hit, or the first one missed, I'm sorry. The second one did no damage.
Cheers. Okay, we see Pureblood walk up. Hello.
I think he's already walked up and sprayed. I think that's what we missed during our wonderful Basilisk zoom in.
I couldn't help it. Couldn't help it.
Man, I hope we get more Sam on stream.
Just more.
That's my whole life goal now. More googly eyes on stream.
Frat Bro asks, how's David Smith doing? He's doing pretty well this morning. I saw him. We had some breakfast.
Some pastries together.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
As for how he's doing in the tournament, I have no idea. But doing great as a human being. Actually, looking down the tables right now, David is playing his game. So
He is.
all the other people in the top 8 of the LCQ are still mid-game right now. Nothing has finished just yet. Dan, it's taking a lot of time on this turn.
He has. He's taken a lot of time.
I mean, this is turn 1.
This is bottom of 1.
Yeah,
And
bottom.
Is it 21 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeesh. Dan, we really gotta keep this up here, buddy. Dan is historically a very careful player. He and I have traveled to several WTCs together before.
Mm-hmm.
Very careful player, very methodical. Yeah, so I imagine that he's going to spend a lot of time and making sure that all of his placements are perfect, and then trying to end the game in just a few turns.
Got it.
So
we see the Wolf Rider champion getting into opposition.
Spring.
Walking up, jumping, in case you're wondering how he got over those other models.
Yeah.
Yeldo Han says he is being distracted by googly eyes. It's a great tactic.
Absolutely.
Hypnotize your opponent with googly eyes.
Then we got this reposition.
Just right up in there.
Yeah, so we talked about sort of like how to jam and stuff, so I'm not really sure about this play. It seems a little strange, I guess. I guess she's very high defense, right? Like she's now 15 defense base, and she's got annoyance. So that's pretty good against the Animatrix. Let's head back to the top-down view here.
Boost.
So we positioned her facing about like that, as far as I can tell, which is great because it makes it really hard for this Animatrix to get into her back arc. And it can't stand like here, right? Like it's just too big. So I just, yeah, it's I don't know. I like this positioning for that, but I'm not really sure why we're committing this model. Like she could have walked up, thrown a spear, and then repositioned way back here. So this next Pureblood's just running.
Now, the thing is, though, he upkeeps the incorporeal on the bottom one, let it do what he wants it to do.
Sure.
And then he just recasts it on the top one.
Sure. Yeah,
And
no,
then
that's definitely possible.
None of this matters. Right? It just goes wherever it wants to anyway.
Sure. This might be because Dan is not experienced with Morgul, right? He might be hoping for something like that because then he doesn't necessarily get immortality because he spent all of his fury. Or if he does get immortality, he spent all of his fury, and now the Mosar Assassination's on the table, which we kind of said may have been Dan's plan from the beginning. And that's why he's okay spending 24 minutes or whatever on this turn.
Sure.
So maybe that's kind of, he's baiting, I guess. It is absolutely a possibility.
It's possible. I don't know. We just showed up on the bottom right of the screen for a second.
Hello.
Hello. Tony shaking his head no. I saw us pop up. Oh, Tony informed me that we have ghosts that show up on our screen that no one else can see. That just freaks me out, Tony.
Beautiful. It does sound like Dan wanted to pick up that Animantrax on turn 1 here.
Yes. But yeah, I
He's
mean,
lamenting that he did not.
what do you even need to really land mortality on this turn? Like, that's super important versus being able to have both your sieges go incorporeal and not worry about all this placement. Mm-hmm. We'll see. Sam's turn. So first thing he's doing is grabbing the Fury off his beast. Then Morgul's going to apparate. He's going to upkeep incorporeal. We see the apparition move from Morgul 2 is about to happen. He's kind of figuring out where he's going to go.
Yep, we're talking about Morgul killing Lord of the Feast and then sprinting. Man, Dan spent almost 25 minutes on that first turn.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a lot, right? Like he almost got an Animantrax down. He positioned well. This little guy is hiding for dear life. Mm-hmm. This is his Argus, which has Doppler bark.
Yeah,
which is kind of the crux of his assassination, right? So, like, if this guy dies, assassination is no longer on the table.
Yeah. But
So-
yeah, look where the siege can go once
These guys?
Yeah, like there's this big landing zone.
Sure.
Once you make that thing incorporeal.
Incorporeal. Chad has pointed out that they can trample, so if you can kill this guy, they can trample away.
Sure.
Yeah, so players just said that they will be incorporeal should they do this, which I think this guy can probably kill this Warpwolf right here.
Yeah.
Maybe this one, right? Like, so we're kind of just checking ranges here. Yep. So they're saying the building's behind him.
So right now, Sam's saying he doesn't even need the incorporeal if he wants to charge where he put down that last table marker.
Yes. Yeah. For the second Animantrax here.
So he may not upkeep it and just save himself the Fury.
Probably.
Yeah, he just said I don't need it, so he's not gonna upkeep it. It's not necessary.
I'm interested to see if he spins all the way down and gets assassinated. Like, does he know about this Mosar assassination? Is really my question here, right? If you hit me the top-down view here,
Boos.
so the real big thing is you have to be able to run and not get free strikes, right? I don't know what this is exactly because it's behind the Animantrax and we can't really see it.
I think that's Aptibus Marketh.
Sure, okay. But if we
hold on.
if we can get a run here, that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna do the nap view,
Sure.
and
No, we got to go. We got to go a little higher. I think Tony's going to help us out here.
No, Tony's
Tony's checking stuff out.
Tony's.
It is Marketh, yes.
Yeah, it's Marketh.
Yeah, so Marketh, like, I mean, obviously these models are all going to move this turn, right? But, like, this run right here, any of these Bloodweavers, they're speed 7, they can run. So if this guy ends up somewhere up here and this guy lives, right, like, how much priority is he going to put on this warrior model is really my question.
Yeah.
Right? It's probably not a super relevant warrior model until it's the most relevant warrior model.
Sure.
So these are just the things that I would be thinking about if I was in Sam's place here, because I think not killing that Animantrax this turn really did a lot of good stuff here.
Here we see the building has been marked off and has been moved just because they're trying to do some measurements. They think they're playing Monpok and are just destroying buildings.
No, it looks like we are checking to see if the vessel runs, the immortal vessel runs, and then can he channel?
Mm.
Two table markers.
And we're just getting make sure the seat intermesh gets put back because we do have the 2 table marker rule that is being enforced. So,
The Canadians do not seem to like it too much.
well,
Everybody else has been following it, no problem.
it is a rule. It is part of our organized play.
It is
We
indeed.
do enforce it. So right now we just hear Sam is in the tank. He's figuring out his turn.
Sam's doing some math here, trying to see how many blood pack he thinks he can take out.
It's pure tank mode.
Sure, sure. So let's talk a little bit, right? So if this Animatrax comes up here and he kills this guy in melee, looks like it's a charge there due to this facing mark. So he gets punched, he dies. Let's assume that we shoot. Let's say we kill 2 more with our D3+1 shots. We could probably pick this guy up in combat, right? So we kill these. This guy kills his pure blood. In Magical Christmas Land, let's say he also gets Nuala, so that's not great for Dan. Some Reavers over here. God, we got a lot of stealth. Like, we got stealth here, so none of that'll work. So maybe they put some damage on this pure blood.
Yeah.
Then we have a Getorix that'll easily clean up this guy because he's already super damaged, right? We got an Animatrax that just hangs out over here at the end of Dan's turn. Like, these guys can charge, maybe?
Yeah.
I guess they don't really want to shoot it, right? Like, charging is way better than shooting in this situation. Once we kill this, we can swap our prey over. We'll get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. I don't know how many of these are I think this is a Blood Weaver and this is a Blood Weaver, not Blood Trackers. So maybe we get like 4 to 5 trackers on there. It won't have the Kreia Animus anymore because it'll be way too far away. I don't know. I'm interested to see what we think we can get done here.
Yeah. And if he's got enough left.
So, yeah. Will the...
Because I think we might see a really explosive turn from
will that
Sam
be
here.
enough? We very well may. Very well may. And this also depends, like, does Morgul feat this turn, right? It doesn't look like it, because I think he is coming back to deal with this Lord of the Feast, and that's kind of what I was talking about, right? Like, I don't think Morgul wants to go backwards to deal with that Lord of the Feast.
But he can sprint forward, so it's not complete loss, like we were saying
Sure, but he
earlier.
can't feat, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he can't deal with Lord of the Feast and effectively feat. Whereas if he could just go forward and feat, like, that could do a lot of work this turn. Yeah, I'm actually...
He still hasn't resolved the Aberration yet on Morgul, too, so maybe he doesn't want to go anywhere.
Sure.
Maybe his placement of where Morgul 2 right now is exactly where he wants to be.
Yeah, I think he's already said he's not gonna apparate. So we got some flesh hooks coming out. I think it's the spell from Marketh.
Yeah. Pierce Sternum on Twitch says, was there any ambush in the Tharn list? No, they did not ambush the Blowweavers. Put them on the table.
Yes.
They are being used as Mopsar teleport targets.
And 2 of them are already down. Poor little ladies. We never even saw it coming.
So the Dakar went and used the ability for the rerolls on the Venator.
The Reaver, I believe, not
Yeah.
the Catapult.
Yeah.
We were checking to see if the Pureblood is completely in the forest. He is not.
Nope. So it looks like the Dakar gave desperate pace to the flare cannon.
No, I think this is the... Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's the Catapult,
Yeah.
and this one's the Flare Cannon.
So it looks like the catapult fired, deviated.
So we got a Blood Pack and a Pure Blood.
And it caught in the blood pack as well.
Yes. But none of the Blood Trackers.
No, none. And we'll bring the dice cams back up here so we can see some of those rolls.
Underground Heretic has asked, Is there anywhere that we can pick up the lists for the stream? We can read them out for you real quick. Dan is playing no, that's his other list. Mosar with 2 Purebloods, Getorix, a Wild Argus, a full unit of Blood Trackers with Nuala, a full unit of Blood Pack, Blood Weavers, Lord of the Feast for free, and a Wolf Rider Champion for free.
Sam Cameron is playing in Winds of Death. Winds of
Yes.
Death. He's playing Morgul 2, an Agonizer, an Archidon, a Basilisk Drake, a Basilisk Kreia. He's got Optimus Marketh, 2 Exteller Soul Wards, the new Immortal Vessel, a Venator Dakar, minimum unit of Paingiver Beast Handlers, Venator Catapult Crew, Venator Flayer Cannon, Venator Reavers unit, maximum, with their command attachment, and 2 CJ Mantraxes. Okay, so we saw Marketh walks up. He's actually going to try Immortality.
Yes, and he has guidance here, so he does ignore the stealth.
Yep.
So it looks like we did land the mortality on the Blood Trackers.
Yep, Blood Trackers are mortalitated.
I think that's really, really awesome.
I'll be playing Maillock later today on the staff game, and so mortality is going to be very important in my life.
Mortality.
Both from him and my Soul Slave. So the Immortal Vessel is just running?
Yep.
Okay, so Morgul is activating. He is charging, looks like, the Lord of the Feast. He's going far enough to make sure he catches the Immortal Vessel in his control range so that he will be able to channel through him.
Yep.
So there we see Morgul into the back arc of the Lord of the Feast. Lord of the Feast is about to have a super bad day.
He'll be back. He always comes back. Not in the game, but in the lore.
Sure. And he gets one shot.
Boop.
So he's boosting mortality into the blood pack.
Ooh, this is what I was talking about. This is terrifying to me.
Lands it.
Does he lightning strike and go to 1?
Wait.
Sam's talking about dying.
Sam's asking if he dies, if he stays there, and he's saying, should I give him sprint or not? Should I give him...
He can. Long leash on the Archidon working out there.
Yeah.
Chad is asking, is there any Signar in the Invitational? Yes, there's at least one Signar player.
Yeah. Sam was saying, I'm going to heal 1 off the Agonizer, and then being reminded that Grievous Wounds from Lord of the Feast stops that. So he's going to just camp 2 and chill right where he's at. So mortality has landed on both the Blood Trackers and the Blood Pack.
Yep, and we decided not to go anywhere. And we're facing the wrong direction.
He doesn't care.
I mean, he has apparition, so he can turn back around.
Yeah, he just doesn't care. Here come the Paingivers. They're going to whip the CJ Animatrix on the bottom
Hiya.
twice. Hiya. And
Hiya.
hiya.
Do him 2 damage, give him 2 rage tokens.
Enjoy.
Oh, Sam just realized that he did not incorporeal the other Animatrix.
Yes, the one that's up, that's being actually blocked by the Wolf Rider. So
Yes.
that's now super relevant.
Yeah, this is... Not really sure what we're trying to measure out here.
Yeah.
So do you think Sam is being so precise with these measurements and being so careful with these measurements because he knows that Dan spent 25 minutes on his first turn? So, like, he has plenty of time to play with?
I'm not sure, to be honest. So we see the CJ Metro. He commits to moving up. Here comes the initial attacks, just dropping these mortality to blood trackers.
Just little spears and that big tail, clocking them. Yeah, we boosted the tail. Whew. Barely.
Here comes the gunshots. Gets 3 shots total with the main gun.
Jeff, and then a bunch of numbers, asks in chat, do we think Mosar can go for an assassination next turn? Probably. But it does seem, it does determine, or like is determined by Sam's placements, right? Like, it's really on Sam to prevent this assassination next turn.
Yep.
I think there's plenty of opportunity for Dan. Yeah.
Now remember that the blood pack was all grievous wound, so no tough rolls, no rapid healing.
Yep.
Just getting murdered.
Yep.
And so we just need the CJ Matrix spend all its tokens, finish its activation. Dan is not committing to the movement yet. He's using the model as a table marker and leaving the bases where it actually is, which is fine because he's only got one table marker out at that time.
Yep.
So it looks like he is committed to that final placement there, and boop, removing that. So that CJ Matrix on the bottom just did a ton of work.
A ton of work, yes.
Ton of work.
So this Drake really needs to get up here and really, really, really needs to kill this this Wolf Rider champion.
He's just off camera. We can't see him getting the job done, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay. So, look at
him.
Look at it. Here he comes.
I'm going to put a little crown on him because he's going to be the champion of this game.
So he rolling to hit the Wolf Rider champion, needs 7. He's boosting to hit. Gets the hit. Yep. And looks like that spray just boof.
And we did boost the damage there to kill her as well. Swift Hunter's popping in.
Yep, so he gets the 2-inch move thanks to Swift Hunter from Winds of Death. So
super good. God, look at him. He's beautiful.
Man, he got the job done.
Beautiful.
And now Big Papa Siege is free to walk up and do as he pleases.
Yeah, but he really wanted the charge to get the boosted to hit, which he's not going to get because he has to walk around that blood tracker. Let's hit our top down here and see how...
And we actually hear Sam say, unless I can kill her somehow.
Yeah. I mean, this building's also in the way, right? Like, so that lane, he'd have to move more this way, which is fine if this blood tracker dies.
Yeah, which is possible.
Um...
All right, so we see the Flayer Cannon is moving up with desperate pace.
And it looks like he's going to shoot the pure blood over there.
Yeah. So we see it move up.
We're going to spin up our Flayer Cannon here. We'll
It's
get
2
2 shots.
So first shot hits.
Pow, 15. Wow. That's 9 damage.
Hits the second shot. Boof.
That's 15 total damage.
Just what up?
Fantastic rolling there, Sam. Hits
What-
both 8s.
What up, Flayer Cannon?
Wonderful. That poor pure blood.
Yeah, we hear Sam going, there's basically no way to remove her. He's going to have to walk because with the stealth, there's no way to get up there.
Yep.
Yeah, so we see the CJ Matrix walks in place,
Yep.
and it's party time. Okay, boosting and attacking the pure blood.
Has this pure blood taken any damage yet? I don't think so.
POW 18 says dice +1.
Just pretty good roll.
Man. Spear on the blood tracker that was in the way. Misses. Spear on the Nawala, who's directly in front of him. Hits. Just
So kills her.
one-shots her. Mortality. Great.
Yep, absolutely.
Makes another attack on the blood tracker to the side. Misses her. Spins the guns up. Get 2 shots. Goes into one of the blood pack hits. Blanks him. Second shot is...
So it's 18 left on the pure blood. I think he needs to shoot the pure blood. I think that shot on the blood pack was a mistake. Like,
So hits the pure blood. Does 5 to the 3 on the pure blood. He has 2 buys.
so it's 13 left. So it's entirely possible that he does. Well, not with that. Roll an 11. But it's possible he doesn't kill that pure blood here, right? Like,
Yeah.
if he rolls a 5 or something on one of those damage rolls, doesn't kill the pure blood.
Yep. So we just saw these sieges walk in and just go to Pound Town, just taking everything out.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what these models do. These are the workhorses of this list. These are the models that are doing all the damage, right? And they use mortality extremely well because they have a high volume of attacks. They get a lot of melee attacks. They get a lot of range attacks. So, like Marketh landing that mortality on the blood trackers, super important.
Yaldo Han said he could have risked an impact attack going in on the blood tracker that was in the way.
He could.
I don't think you ever want to, though. Your whole plan goes straight to hell if that goes bad.
Yep.
Okay, we see the Kreia is going to advance an Animus to get within 3 of the siege at the bottom.
So let's go to our top-down view here. This is kind of scary to me. I don't know. I mean, I think these Venators might.
They haven't even activated yet.
They might be able to kill his pure blood.
They haven't
Like,
even
let's-
activated yet.
Sure. But like, let's say they can kill this pure blood. It's just, I don't know if they can, but let's say they can.
He took like 1 million randomly.
I think he took like 5 or 6. I
Like
think,
1 million.
Oh no, he took a lot.
He took a lot.
Okay, so if this pure blood dies, let's
Yeah.
just assume he's dead to the Venators, right? She can run, whoop, and then Mosar can pop out, bark, and then stab this guy. I don't know, maybe 5 times, 4 times. How much fury is that? Bark is 2, teleports 2, 3.
It does not seem like a good plan, man.
I'm checking it. Let me pull back up our
It seems
scoreboard
he's
here.
got 2 transfers.
Yeah, but I mean, you can also get like maybe 1 or 2 blood trackers there.
Can you?
Maybe.
They have. Can you?
Well, this guy's super low, right? Like, Getrix kills this, no problem. So that frees up this model. If one of these Blood Weavers can be the run, then you can get 1, maybe 2. That seems a bit far. But, like, this one's in for sure.
Yeah, but then they have to run first. And that's
No,
the
no.
blood
You,
tracker.
if this dies, you can run her, right? Like, she runs 14. So that's fine. So I don't know. Maybe there's an assassination here. I doubt there's going to be anything closing that giant hole.
I think if you just roll your booty off.
I mean, if you roll your booty off, you definitely kill him.
Actually, I still don't think you do. He's Fury 8.
Sure. So
We're spending 2 on the teleport.
we stands for 2. We bark for 2.
Leaves you 4.
So we get 5 total attacks at POW 10. Morgul's not exactly high armor.
He's armor
right?
14.
Yeah. So that's
Dice off 4. You're doing 3 a pop with 2 transfers.
Sure. So that's 15. Minus the 2 transfers, right?
Yeah. For any spikes you get.
Sure.
If you roll your booty off.
I mean, if you roll a booty off, he's definitely dead.
Yeah.
But then if we can get like 2 more attacks on him, 2 more low POW attacks, I think we're good. If that pure blood lives, easy peasy all day,
Yeah?
right? Oh yeah.
Just get in there with the spray as well. Big bam.
Yep.
And we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited to find out.
Yep.
So we see a giant CRA going into the pure blood. Well,
He
it
wants that
hits.
on damage. Oh no.
Okay, that's it. Venators walk up.
Oh man. I
Got-
think this is now really, really bad for Sam.
Landed the hit, but could not do any damage. Now they're going to reposition.
I think this is really sad for Sam.
Maybe. Maybe.
And let's see if Dan goes for it. I know he loves this play. Like, this is like the Dan Yoon dream.
Yeah.
Is to get to stab Morgul in the booty with Mosar.
This is the Dan Yoot special?
Yes, absolutely. This is what this man loves doing. This is his favorite caster. He plays all the time. We'll see what happens. I'm looking at him over there. He looks a little concerned. Maybe he's... I'm telling you, man, it was bait the whole time.
All right, Sam passes turn.
So Dan took a 25-minute turn, and then Sam responded in kind.
Yeah. We are now at the bottom of round 2.
Yep.
This is not going to round 7.
No. Somebody will run out of models before then.
This is probably not going to round 4.
I agree. Looks like no points were scored.
No. The scenario is there. There are zones and objectives.
Yep. It does seem like neither of these players are... Sam just said, yeah, Morgul might be dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're picking up the CJ Mantrax, leaving him on a proxy base so they can get some precise, machine-precise measurements.
So it looks like he is in 15.
Yep.
Which I believe is the run threat range of the teleport.
Yep.
Shenanigans.
So we'll probably see Getters come in, finish off the hurt CJ Mantrax, the run go up, Mosar teleport in, Biggity Bam.
Give him the Bork.
Bork. Beat.
Punch him a couple times, assault him with a pure blood.
Yep.
Yes. You might have to heal that pure blood. I don't know if it has any systems out.
So we see Bork just run up.
Yep.
That's so that he'll be in Mosar's control area.
Yep. So it looks like we're going for it.
Oh, no, it's absolutely happening.
I'm excited.
I'm always, dude, assassinations are my favorite thing on War Machine.
And Chad has pointed out that he could maltreat for another Fury, so he could really get 6 attacks here. Pow 10, dice off 4. It's pretty good. You're unlikely to miss any of them. Like, maybe you miss 1. I think if you miss 2, you go to,
pull
absolute sad town.
Pull up Mosar for me on Warwheel. Yeah. And that would be, just double checking maltreatment. Yeah, it's control range. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can pull one from the Argus there. So
Yep. So
looks like Getteric's coming in.
Yep.
This should clean up no problem. This guy doesn't have a whole lot of hit points left.
It's dice off 4. Does 5 points of damage, or 4 points of damage. Hits him again.
Yep, left him at 1, I believe. Oh, rolled a 3, needed a 5. 2 left, I'm sorry.
Buys another attack. Hits. Needs a 5 to kill him.
There we go.
Okay, kills him exactly. Okay. Getterix has gotten the job done. Aftermath Marketh gets a soul from the CJ Animantrax, which is weird.
So do you think he gets the Animantrax's soul, or do you think he gets that guy with the horn soul?
I think he gets all of them.
Gets all of them?
I think they get intertwined on their way to hell, and he just gets this weird mishmash of Skorne turtle soul.
One enormo soul.
Yeah.
That soul token should be like
Who
6
wins?
inches across.
Our Aftermath Marketh, our one soul-y boy.
Okay, here we go. So Bloodweaver's running. We want to be within 1 inch.
All right, here it comes. Bloodweaver's random position. Mosar is going to spend 2.
So we're getting a maltreat there.
Yeah, he's going to maltreat first.
So we picked up a 9th Fury.
He walks up, Sands of Fate. Sam is basically saying the play as it happens. He's like, you're going to walk up, Sands of Fate, Doppelbark.
Yep.
Dan deciding if he's going to curse the shadows or just hit him a whole bunch.
I think you just punch him 6 times. Yeah. Like, he's armor 14, right? Like, he's got 15 health.
All right, here comes Dan making the first attack. Doppelbark's up. Hits. Dice off 4.
Here we go. Oh, no.
Takes no damage.
Dan, no.
Hits.
Dan, don't do it.
Dice off 4. No damage. Buys an attack. Hits. Dice off 4. 3 damage. Morgul takes it. Hits. Dice off 4. Transfers the big hit.
So it does 8 points.
So it goes to the Kreia. So 8 points to the 4 on the Kreia.
Ooh.
Okay, so next attack just did 5. They were double counting how much fury he spent. This,
They're counting through the number of attacks left. Yes. So he has 1 more attack after this one.
yeah. So they're confirming. Yeah, they're confirming that another fury has been spent.
Yep.
There's only 1 more attack after this
From Mosar.
from Mosar. This one is currently doing fine. Sam is deciding if he's going to transfer the 5. He's only got 1 transfer left. He transferred the big hit. He's taken 3 so far. So right now, Morgul has 12 left. He's got 5 incoming, and he's got to decide if he's going to transfer it with 1 more attack from Mosar and then the spray from the Pureblood. He decides to take it.
Yes, and I think that's the correct call.
Yeah.
And that's really important because this Pureblood's going to come in with a boosted POW 14 versus an unboosted POW 10.
Yeah.
The boosted POW 14 is going to do way more than 5 damage.
So he's taken 8 so far. He has 7 left.
7 left. We're going to get a Pureblood spray. We're probably going to get 1, maybe 2 blood trackers in. He will be engaged now, but it is back arc, which I'm not sure actually counts against Morgul.
This the final attack from Dan. It hits. It is dice off 4. No damage.
That is unfortunate.
Rolled
Truly
snake
unfortunate.
eyes. Now, so we're looking at Morgul still has 1 transfer.
And he is def 5, so 9 in combat.
He's still stealth, though.
Correct, yes. So I think we can get like 1 blood tracker in there, and then we get the assault on the Pureblood.
Yep. So
Maybe we can get a 2. Can we get a top down here?
Yep. Here it comes.
Beautiful.
Tony, don't you touch my monitor. I saw you over there reaching over to change my monitor
So like, we
view.
get that one. I don't think anybody else is getting in here.
I know you run this, and this is your show, and this happens because of you, Tony. But I'll press all these buttons I want. You think I won't just... Oh. I'll bring up everything. I'll just break it all.
Yep.
There we go.
It absolutely hits.
There we
We're
go.
a pound 9 here.
All right.
He takes 5. He goes to 2.
Goes to 2. He has 2 left and a transfer.
Which I think is enough. I think he's only got the Pureblood left, right?
I agree.
Maybe he'll forget to transfer.
That seems super unlikely.
I know. I also want to see if he blocked his own assault there with the blood tracker.
Nah. He's got it. Spray 10.
Chad is bringing up blood pack, question mark. Morgul has stealth,
Yeah.
so they definitely cannot get close.
He might be facing backwards and be def 5 from Doppelbark, but it doesn't matter. He's still a ninja.
Yeah.
Even if they had assault, they wouldn't have range.
Jeff asked in chat, what are the odds Assassinations doesn't work? I think this was a really good odds assassination,
Yep.
right? Like he's got 2 hit points left, we said, right? 553.
So we just saw the Pureblood do boosted damage, rolled straight dice damage 15.
Yeah. So
He's transferring it. Obviously, it can't overflow.
yeah, so I mean, it's going to Archidon, right? Like
Yeah.
that to me is the obvious choice here. Yep, Sam's walking through to see what else he can get to. But yeah, so talking about odds here, right? So you get 6 attacks with Mozart. Each one does 3. That's 18. That kills him. So he has to transfer at least one of those, probably 2. Dan failed to do damage on 3 of them. Like, even legitimately, like, 1 or 2 damage on each of those instead of none seals this game. Because then he has to transfer that blood tracker shot, and then the pure blood can come in, right? When he took the 5, so if he had just done 2, like, if those 3 attacks that did none, would that on average do 9, do just 2, Dan wins the game. So, like, this to me is a really, really good assassination chance, and that's going to be it there.
So, looks like that is the game.
Yes.
Dan just goes in concedes the game.
Yep. So
Our camera gets in position. We see, whoa.
It's a party.
All right, we're back in place. So, yeah, it looks like Sam gets the win.
Yep.
After a failed assassination run by Dan, mainly because you said, like, his dice kind of failed.
They really did, which is unfortunate. But I think that was kind of Dan's game plan from the beginning, right?
Yep.
Like, he didn't bring a great attrition-style list that he felt confident could really kill these turtles because they are quite durable.
Yeah.
When he didn't get that one on turn 1, I think he was already on the back foot immediately and kind of went for an assassination like this.
Yep.
But I do think that this assassination was excellent. Like, it had a really good chance at working.
Sure.
Probably in like the 70 to 80% range, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But luck wasn't with him today.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. But it's really cool to see these plays and, like, see this really fluid play. And a lot of people aren't familiar with Mozart, right? Like, he doesn't get played a ton.
Sure.
There are a couple specialty players out there that play him in these big events. But a lot of, the wider community hasn't really adopted him. So
there's just a lot of casters and warlocks in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you're going to run into that more and more. So.
Absolutely. And a lot of people aren't really aware of what he can do. So this was a great sort of primer on what Mozart can do. And honestly should be able to do. Like, it was very likely that this worked out in Dan's favor, but it just didn't this time. So
stay tuned with us today. We're going to be broadcasting 2 more of the LCQ games, the last 2 rounds of it, to see who gets into the Invitational. There'll also be a staff game later on today that we'll be ending out today with, and we'll be back on Sunday, of course, with the final rounds of the Invitational being streamed. So hang out, and we'll see you soon.
bye-bye.
Bye.